Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Mixed Texan Report. Miami book cafe that kicked out Fox News analysts over conservative politics shuts down. This happens less than a year after this incident where Fox business host and political analyst Gianno Caldwell was thrown out. Let's check out some video on what happened last year.
Welcome back. Fox News political analyst Gianno Caldwell is calling out a Miami, Florida restaurant after being asked to leave the restaurant because of his conservative views. The restaurant is Paradise Books and Bread. Writing on Instagram, their behavior and their words made other folks in the space, as well as us, working very uncomfortable. We told them that our views don't align and that the language they were using was unwelcome in our space. Joining us right now is the man himself, Fox News political analyst, host of Out Loud with Gianno Caldwell podcast, and author of Taken for Granted. Gianno is here. Great to see you, Gianno. Thanks very much for being here. Tell me what happened.
Thank you for having me.
What happened?
Well, I got to tell you, Maria, I never thought I would make international news for being a Florida man kicked out of a restaurant over my conservative values, but that's exactly what happened. But what happened is some friends of mine, some people that I'm just getting to know that live in my building, invited me off to this Paradise Books and Breads. Never been there, never heard of it. I go in, they're immediately asking me questions. How do you like working over at Fox News? Are you a conservative? And I say, yes, I am. Actually, I have a book out called Taken for Granted, How Conservatism Can Win Back the Americans Liberalism Have Failed. Get the book. And we talked about my brother, how he was murdered in Chicago last year in June, last month or yesterday made 7 months since he's been murdered. And a number of other issues like my pro-life stance, about progressive DAs who are exacerbating the crime issue. And the owner comes over to the table and says, I've been listening.
I don't see what is offensive about that.
To your conversation. You are not welcome here. And I said, oh, wow, did I say something that triggered you? She said, no, we are not politically aligned. I don't feel comfortable. You have to leave. I own this place. Wow. So I stood up, walked off from the table, shell-shocked, completely shell-shocked, because I've never had that experience before. And I went online and tweeted immediately after, and it got 2.5 million views and went viral. So I am disturbed what I'm seeing from folks, and I think this is a microcosm of what we're seeing across the country.
Well, it is. How many people were you in the group? I mean, were you talking loudly? I mean,
it was a total of 5 of us, including a woman. So, you know, they've made things like, oh yeah, we didn't like what they said about women, and something about eugenics or something like that, and I'm telling them I'm pro-life. Like, what is it that made you feel uncomfortable? I imagine it did, because for some on the left, intolerance has become the norm, not the exception. So they want you to capitulate to all of their views, no matter what it is. But if you say, I believe in God, and I talked about my faith in God while I was there as well, if you say that I'm pro-life, then it's a problem. There's a target on your back. And let alone, don't let you be black in saying these things. You got to go, because you are now someone who's an enemy to your race. And that's how a lot of these liberal left-leaning people think. It is extraordinarily reprehensible. And I am thankful that since this is all taking place, that they've shut their doors down at least into next month. But I think there should be a real investigation into this, because this shouldn't happen to anyone. And I imagine if I didn't have the platform that I have, if I didn't work at Fox News, no one would know about it, no one would care, and they would get away with this.
He's absolutely right. If you're black and saying these things, you're an enemy to your race. You're an Uncle Tom. You're a sellout. Now, something like similar happened to me. Not exactly, but I'll get into that a little bit later. This place, after the incident, they said, since the incident, we have been getting harassed on the internet, specifically on Twitter. They even blocked out the W on Twitter because they don't want to say it. Because Elon Musk owns it now. Google reviews, and on this platform, they wrote at the time. Now I looked at I typed in their business name on Twitter, Paradise Books and Bread. You can see all over the place. Last year, people were saying, never patronize Books and Bread in North Miami. They don't want your money. Ownership believes they have, and believe they and their staff can earn a living without you. Crazy times we're living in. Make sure you don't support Paradise Books and Bread if you live in the Miami area. A lot of people are boycotting this place, and it definitely hurt them. You get a lot of bad publicity like this, it's going to tank your business. Now, I'm glad they've shut down because you can't just throw people out because they have a difference of opinion with you. It's not okay. They're supposed to be inclusive and welcoming. Why don't they be inclusive to a black man who has different views? You can agree to disagree. You can find some common ground, hopefully, on some things, or you can maybe change some minds. If you just look, crime is a big issue that we can all agree on. We want safe streets, everything, things like that. We want economic prosperity. We don't want a bunch of woke DAs. At least a normal person wouldn't want that. Now I'm going to tell you about what happened with me. My wife and I went to this place, maybe 15 minutes from where we live, 15, 20 minutes, I don't know. But this was before the 2020 election. We went to this place to have some drinks, and there were some beer glasses on display for sale. One was Trump and one was Biden. And I asked the girl who was serving us, who was very friendly when we came in. Then I happened to go back up for another drink, and I saw the glass. I said, "Oh, how much is the Trump glass?" And she looked at me. Her whole face just changed. She said $15. I said, "I'll take one of those." It's a collector's item. I mean, it's 2020 election. It was red. It had Trump's face on it, and there's one for Biden if that's your thing. And I bought it, and her whole attitude changed towards us. She went in. I didn't notice this, but my wife said she went and turned off the TV that was directly in front of us. She turned it off, even if it was baseball playing or something, but she turned it off because I think I was glancing up at it. TV is on, I'm going to glance up and look at stuff. She turned it off. She didn't come to our table once at all after that, and she was very rude. And I told my wife, I said, "You notice that I asked her, I said, you notice that she's changed her demeanor towards us since I bought the glass?" And my wife overheard a conversation this woman was having, saying she was getting kicked out of her apartment for having a Black Lives Matter party. So she was a woke leftist moron. And that's why she got triggered when I wanted to buy a Trump glass. Look, I don't care. You're a Democrat. I don't care. If I'm serving you something, you will have a difference of opinion, fine. You're putting money in my pocket by patronizing my place of business that I work in. And you have to treat everybody fairly, whether you agree or disagree. Just don't say anything. Now, if you agree with them, hey, maybe you can strike up a conversation, have a good conversation with a customer. But if you disagree, then just don't say anything and just leave it at that. Just give a good customer service, because whenever somebody walks in the door, they are no longer the political stuff goes away when you're in the service industry. That stuff goes away. Look, I'm in the wine industry, and I deal with a lot of conservatives, people that agree with me, which is I live in a Republican state in a more conservative area. But then you have some people who don't agree with you. That's fine. But everybody gets treated the same, whether, as long as they're good to you, because they're putting money in your pocket. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to leave that right there. Just wanted to share this with you. Miami Book Cafe shuts down a year after this nonsense, after throwing a conservative out because he has different views. What a world we live in nowadays. Crazy, huh? But all right, guys, like and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you. Take care.